Medical officials concerned about spike in admission of people living with chronic diseases being more susceptible to COVID-19. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Wednesday, October 13th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Although Grenada has recorded a decrease in positive COVID-19 cases, health officials are still uneasy over the recent spike in admissions of people suffering from chronic diseases. This is worrying in the face of low vaccination numbers because those living with chronic diseases are more susceptible to COVID-19. Head of the COVID-19 Medical Response Team, Dr. Darland Noel, said during Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing that it is not unusual for the country to record spikes in hospital admissions for strokes and diabetes annually after Christmas and Carnival. But they are worried that although there is a decline in positive COVID-19 cases, there is still hesitancy among those who are at risk. As of October 12th, 27,923 Grenadians are fully vaccinated and over 8,000 are partially vaccinated.
It's very, very important for the people out there who have chronic illnesses like diabetes, hypertension, strokes, heart disease, kidney disease, to pay attention to the health, pay attention to the chronic disease, because they are the vulnerable population and they're at risk of complication. So we are seeing now, as the numbers are going down, an increase in admissions from chronic disease.
Dr. Noel explained that mortality from COVID-19 so far has been among those within the most vulnerable and at-risk category. He encouraged Grenadians who are most at risk to take the COVID-19 vaccine, which will help strengthen their immune system by developing antibodies to fight the virus.
People with the chronic disease, the autoimmune disorders, the heart disease, the elderly, they already have a weakened immune system. So getting the vaccine where they can mount an immune response and develop antibodies so that if they do come in contact with the virus, they already have some neutralizing antibodies to help them fight off an infection. So the severity of the illness and hospitalization and death will be reduced. So that population of people who are most vulnerable are the population of people who will benefit most from the vaccine. Mortality from COVID-19 and severe disease is from the category of people who are most vulnerable. Vulnerable, diabetics, hypertensive, autoimmune disorder, age over 60, obese with body mass index more than 30, cancer patients, heart disease patients, stroke patients, chronic kidney disease patients.
Tourism and Civil Aviation Minister Honorable Clarice Modeste Kerwin attributes the increase in airlift from the United States and the resumption of flights from Canada to the confidence in government and the economic improvements made in the battle against COVID-19. Starting November 2nd, American Airlines will operate 3 times per week, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, with daily flights from December 1st. Air Canada Mainline will resume direct service twice per week, Wednesdays and Sundays from Toronto Pearson International Airport, starting October 31st.
We see significant improvement. JetBlue has gone daily for quite a while now, and I think they're doing pretty good. They're not complaining. Of course, maybe there are days when they could do it more, but they're doing pretty well. American, up till now, has had only two weekly flights. We are expecting the start of a 3rd flight from Miami, and also the Charlotte flight, which had been suspended for a long while and which was a very viable flight, is going to resume shortly. And come November, about mid-November, we expect to be having daily flights. I think we are almost confirmed on that, and we look forward to it.
Minister Modest Kerwin is optimistic that the increases will propel the recovery and development of the industry.
It speaks to the confidence that the administrators of the airlines have in the rebounding, the resurgence of the tourism industry. And that is playing out. We too are doing our part. GTA is doing significant marketing, significant networking, and so that in the flights, the increase in flights is due in part to the seriousness that these people see in us, and the resolute stance we've taken to have our tourism back on track.
Sunwing is expected to offer service once a week from Toronto Pearson International Airport starting November 7th. Grenada is already enjoying the benefits of JetBlue's daily service from John F. Kennedy Airport, which is expected to continue to the end of the year. Continuing the news, the Royal Grenada Police Force is concerned about the emerging trend of mixing gasoline and kerosene to bust bamboo, which it says has resulted in serious injury or even death. The practice is traditionally done in observance of the annual All Saints celebrations. The Royal Grenada Police Force issued a statement on Wednesday appealing for increased vigilance in an effort to stem this deadly practice.
In recent times, we have received several concerning reports of individuals using gasoline and also mixing gasoline and kerosene during this practice. A very worrying trend that has resulted in serious injury or even death. According to the Noise Control Act of 2006, the sounds emitted from bamboo bursting amounts to an offense and is punishable by law. While the RGPF is mandated to enforce the law, we are equally concerned about the personal safety of all citizens. Therefore, we encourage persons who engage in the practice to be as concerned for their personal well-being. Parents, you also have a fundamental responsibility to supervise your children and to ensure that they remain safe. We also admonish owners, operators, and staff of gas stations to be vigilant to whom small quantities of gasoline are being sold to, and encourage these persons to desist from such practices.
That was Woman Police Corporal Cordina Douglas McLean. This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
Government, private sector, civil society, academia, farmers, the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization, invites you to World Food Day 2021, the virtual edition, under the theme, Our Actions Are Our Future, Better Production, Better Nutrition, a Better Environment, and a Better Life. Join us October 15 from 9:30 a.m. via Zoom, Facebook, GIS, and Real FM, as we recognize and celebrate the many successes of the agriculture sector.
Welcome back. Member of the COVID-19 Advisory Committee, Dr. George Mitchell, says a change in attitude and behavior can help the country's fight against COVID-19 by ensuring a continued decline in positive cases. Dr. Mitchell warned against complacency and said if we don't follow protocols, get tested and vaccinated, our fight could be far from over.
Whereas the dashboard is an excellent reflection as to what is going on out there, it does not always mirror, and that may sound a little bit controversial, but it does not actually mirror the exact numbers of what is going on, because I am convinced that, for example, the number of positive cases that we have in this country has not been reflected on the dashboard because of non-reporting, because persons don't go for testing, etc. So that the amount of positive cases needs to be multiplied by a particular factor going forward. But having said that, yes, it is absolutely important that we understand what's going on to be able to make strategic decisions in terms of the next steps to take going forward. And that is what we do generically in making decisions.
Dr. Mitchell, who was a guest on The Next Chapter with host Kevin Frederick, says the tide can turn, but this depends to a large extent on attitude.
The issue of a possible second wave, where is that coming from? How do we prevent it? Those are the strategic thoughts that needs to be considered as we look at numbers, as we look at opening up different sectors of the country going forward.
Finally, in the news, the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry resumes the sale of plants at the Ashendon Propagation Station, St. David, with effect from Thursday, October 14th. While adhering to the COVID-19 protocols, the following guidelines should be followed by persons to facilitate seamless transactions. From October 14th to 21st, plants will be sold to cocoa and nutmeg farmers approved by the Cocoa and Nutmeg Associations and farmers with application approved by Extension Division. Ornamentals and spices will be sold on an appointment basis from October 22nd to the 29th. From the week beginning November 1st and onwards, plants will be sold to the public only on Thursdays by appointment. Interested persons can book an appointment between 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. by calling 444-7216 or 417-9359. Payment for the sale of plants must be done at the District Revenue Office in St. David. That story just ended the national report for Wednesday, October 13th, recapping the top story. Medical officials concerned about spike in admission of people living with chronic diseases being most susceptible to COVID-19. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.